Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show. And now, here's Jeff Crilley.
Welcome back to the Jeff Crilley Show. If you've lived in DFW for a while, you probably remember Don Wall from coming into your living room night after night. He was one of the veteran reporters at WFAA for many, many years, and then he decided to reinvent himself. Don, welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show.
Thanks, Jeff. Good to be here.
Okay, so you and I were actually competitors. I was at 4, you were at 8, and I remember seeing you in the field, and you were always very professional, a true good guy in the field.
Yeah, we had a good relationship.
Absolutely. And then in 2006, you decided to reinvent yourself.
Yeah, well, actually, I was forced to reinvent myself because, I guess I was in the news business. I was either getting too old or too expensive.
And as happens, I remember every day that I went in at Fox 4 News for 16 years, taking my little electronic badge and putting it against the reader there. And when the green light came on, I said, well, they'll let me in for another day.
Yeah.
So in 2006, you decided that you were going to change directions. Tell us a little bit more about where life took you.
Well, at first, I thought this was pre-Great Recession, just barely. And I thought that the production business was going to be just fine. And in fact, the first year it was, because people were just beginning to get into internet videos, producing videos to promote their companies and tell their stories. That's some of what you do. I mean, people, because of the internet, people started finding that maybe it would be a good idea to have a video to promote what we do. And so being that I was from that world, I was able to do that rather successfly. And I figured, well, this isn't going to be that hard. And then the Great Recession hit, and that changed everything because the money that people were spending on that kind of thing went away for a while. It's coming back a bit now, but.
Well, and you
I had to do other things too.
And you've kept your hand in the news business. So talk a little bit more about that.
Right. Well, I found again, I think a lot of people were reinventing their models, and so medical reporting has been a big thing for local TV stations. And so I started working a couple years back with a company out of Florida called Ivanhoe Broadcast News, which produces cutting-edge medical reports in big cities all across the country, which then get kind of funneled into a central editing location in Florida and then get sent out to TV stations all over the country.
Wow.
So every month, like about 100 stations get all of these, professionally produced cutting-edge medical pieces that are done all over the country. And I happen to be the guy that does that for them in Dallas.
And it's not just TV. You're in print as well.
Print, yeah. I had to get back. I started as a writer way, way back when, and I've gotten back to it. And I've met a lot of entrepreneurs, cutting-edge people in this process of helping to promote what they do. And they have a lot of great stories, a lot of great backstories of how they became an entrepreneur or what it was that drove them. And so I found another outlet for those kinds of stories through DCEO Magazine, which is it's an offshoot of D Magazine here in Dallas.
Absolutely.
And it features C-suite people who have made it to the top of whatever they do. And all those people are fascinating.
Well, I think your ability to tell stories, whether it be through your video production company or print or television, is really playing to your strengths. And I understand that it's not just limited to broadcast. You're also a musician.
Yeah, it's now music is more of a passion and a hobby because it doesn't pay the bills. That's for sure.
But you're still, I think you're, as we talked about off the air, in the first 20 years of a young man's career, he's really going for money, right?
Oh, well, yeah, that's kind of a theory that I have about the aging process. I call it the final third, if you will, because I'm in the final third now, and it's a theory, really, that the first third of your life, that's when you're growing up, you're coming of age, you're developing some level of expertise in something, hopefully, and you have passions and dreams, and you go for those dreams, and then often you get sidetracked into a job or a profession or something, and it may not be your dreams. And then the middle third is when you Probably you're at your highest earning power. You're making the most money. You're paying the most taxes. You're having your family. You're working pretty much, again, hopefully, if things go well for you, as some kind of a professional or as some kind of a person who, is a contributing member of our community. And then the big change happens somewhere in the 50s or the 60s, and now because we're living longer, we're healthier, we're going to live on average, up to 90 or beyond. There's going to be a lot more people living to 100.
Of course.
We know that.
I remember when Willard Scott used to do his 100th birthday, it was really rare, and these days it's almost everybody's living to 100.
Right.
Yeah.
So then getting back to my theory is like the final third, it's like, okay, now what are you going to do?
Right.
Right? So it's like, I'm 62 years old. And
you look good, by the way, Don.
Thanks. You too, Jeff.
Thank you. Well, now you brought a guitar, and I want to make sure that we hear from you on your guitar. Go ahead and while you're he was tuning
the guitar on my
he was tuning it off
shoulder.
The air. Now tell us what you're going to perform for us, because this is storytelling as well.
Yeah, it is, as a matter of fact. And this is a song, and this is storytelling for sure, because I am a grandfather now, and
Me too.
Congratulations. My grandson was born almost 2 years ago, and so that was a very inspiring thing. And I was thinking about that. And then Pope Francis, I saw, because I'm still a news junkie, had just recently that year made a speech on National Youth Day to like hundreds of thousands of people, young people, on the beaches at Rio. And I was thinking, wow, what a scene, And he was like up on the mountaintop, talking. And so I wrote this song, and he's coming,
It's beautiful.
The Pope's coming. So this song is inspired by my new grandson and Pope Francis. When you hit the road, take it slow, follow your dreams. Wherever you may go, hope when you've got nothing left, faith when you believe. Jesus says that love is the greatest of these. My soup needs salt, so put in salt. Now it's good, tastes like soup you would want. It's Papa's recipe, ingredients for eternity. Put in faith, put in hope, put in love. And looking out at the sea, from a mountain, you and me. Do you want to be my friend? My life needs faith, so put in faith. Now you've got a compass to show you the way. My life needs hope, so put in hope. Your days will be enlightened by a luminous horizon. My life needs love, so put in love. Your journey now completed by the friends you've met and greeted. It's Papa's recipe, ingredients for eternity. Put in faith, put in hope, put in love. Put in faith, put in hope, put in love.
Wow. That's a first on the Jeff Crilley Show, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think we've ever had a musician in studio. You are a Renaissance man. You're a man of many talents.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. So what would be your advice to the listener who is saying to himself or herself, gosh, I'm in a dead-end career. I want to reinvent myself. What's your advice?
Well, it's not easy, first of all. It takes a lot of work. You've got to start really kind of getting back to basics. I mean, this is almost like boot camp. You've got to get into training. You've got to get your diet under control. You've got to get your bad habits under control. And you've got to get serious. That's my first bit. Now, if you can get that far, and that's not easy, you got to try new things.
Absolutely.
Or go back to that thing that you hoped that you might have made a career out of when you were in your 20s, and you never had a chance to go after it.
That's great advice. Okay, Don, we're out of time for this segment. How can people get a hold of you? You got a website?
I got a website. You can Google me. Just look up Don Wall or Don Wall Productions. I've got a very promising YouTube channel that a lot of people go to. You can see a lot of young baseball players. I work with youth baseball. We didn't even talk about that.
We unfortunately they're playing the bump music.
There's
and
so
we're
much
getting...
going on there.
All right, Don. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Jeff.
You bet.